And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. You hear that? You hear that? That is the sound of what you do when you are up 3-0 and nobody thought you would be there. Against Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for joining us right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On the latest Pop Culture Cosmos, DJ Johnson and I have our WrestleMania 42 memories that we have from this past weekend. Also, Michael moonwalks into theaters. How is it being perceived? Go ahead and make sure you check it out today. Plus, TJ and I predict the top 10 movies of the summer. So go ahead and check it out today, wherever you get your podcasts, and on YouTube as well. Legends here. I got Next Sports Media. Make sure you go ahead and check it out today. All he does is give you the latest news that you need to know and thoughts on the NFL, NBA, and more. I got Next Sports Media. Please go ahead and check it out on YouTube today as well. Also want to go ahead and share the love with you guys in regards to our good friends at Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Also as well, of course, Stefan Piscano podcast. He had an episode. He actually pulled some of my stuff from the NBA observations and had one of his best numbers ever. So congratulations to him on that. Although it is the fact that he likes Rob and I still don't like Rob, but it is, of course, the Stefan Piscano podcast. Please make sure you like and subscribe on that today. But also as well, John Costa. They're up. Is it a coincidence, legend? Let me bring you on the air here. Funny. John Costa hasn't been able to come here lately, past 2 games. He said he couldn't make it tonight. And the Lakers are up 3-0. What hypothesis could you come of that, legend?
Might be some luck involved, maybe some buju involved. You never know, but
you never know. But John cannot make it tonight. But please go ahead and make sure you check him out at Lakers Corner with his 3-minute report. Indeed, but did want to also go ahead and give some love. I'm sure Joe will be here. Joe's probably doing flips. Or he's probably moonwalking, like Michael in the Michael movie, like Jafar Jackson in the Michael movie. He is probably moonwalking right now down Temecula. So when he's finished moonwalking down Temecula, he'll come over, hopefully join us right there. The guy himself from the Joe Soro experiment as well. Well, the Lakers head in today up 2-0. House money. Could they get the house money? What we say here in Vegas. When you're up and you go in for more. Could they do that? And could they get out of it in the game 3 with a 3-0 lead? Well, just before game time, we got word that not 1 but 2 late scratches. Kevin Durant with an ankle issue. Austin Reaves still not a go. Although I kind of think he might be around for game 4 because he was close to being a go for game 3. So no Kevin Durant, no Austin Reaves. What would happen? Well, the Lakers still in the first half took control, got up to a double-digit lead leading into the second half, started to let Houston come back into it. They got that home crowd going. They started to reel the Lakers back in. Fourth quarter, they started to even take a small lead. Things did not look good for the Lakers. Manufacturing offense was not very good for the Lakers at times in the second half, but they crawled together. And the major thing that legend, myself, and every other NBA analyst has talked about, the fact that they just on Houston don't have someone to settle them down when they need to. When they were up late, they don't have a point guard to go ahead and settle them down when they need it, when it's comes down to the clutch. And even though they were up by 4 late on the Lakers were able to go ahead and execute down the stretch, get the turnovers they needed on Houston. And with the LeBron James 3 tie the game. Almost got another 3 late, but it did go to overtime, and in the overtime, clutch performances from the veterans, LeBron James, except for when you just can we just not have him inbound passes anymore, please? Do we not remember Chicago? I mean, if El Rosto can remember Chicago, can't we remember Chicago? Just have him out there as a decoy or getting just no more inbounding, please. But still, he did some good things down the stretch, but it was Marcus Smart with some key plays, key steals, fouls, getting some free throws in the clutch. And that was just enough as the Lakers squeak out a victory in overtime, 112 to 108, to take a commanding 3-0 lead. And I was told by my friend Roger, watching us on Lakers Latest, said, Daryl, don't take it for granted. I wasn't trying to take it for granted. I'm just telling you stats. When LeBron is up 2-0 in a series, he's undefeated. And when the NBA playoffs have a 3-0 lead, it has always gone a certain way. Now, is it a done deal? No. You still got to finish the job, but it's starting to look pretty good for you, for us Lakers fans. And here today to go ahead and discuss today's game, plus the NBA playoffs as well, some of the surprises, and the fact he is a proud man right there. He's got the Atlanta dream going on, but he's
Yes,
happy
sir.
about his Atlanta Hawks as well. It is Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. Legend, great to have you here, my friend. Everybody's excited. Everybody's happy. The Lakers pulled out this victory. They were ahead most of the way, but you could just tell the momentum. They were just did not have a large enough lead. And the fact is, you don't have Luka and Austin on your side. You could just tell the big Mo was going to eventually come back the way of Houston, and it did. But down the stretch, that lack of a point guard rears its ugly head once again
Yep.
for Houston, my friend.
That's why they lost this game. I watched the game too. I'm like, there was maybe 25 some seconds, something like that, or maybe 45, somewhere in between there. You up 6. You had a point guard. You probably win that game, and that's why they had all them turnovers. Cause you have nobody who can handle that type of pressure. That's when you need a point guard who can ball handle. That's when not having a point guard come back and bite you. That's why they lost this game. Give a shout out to the Lakers. They did their thing. You took advantage of them not having a point guard. That's what you're supposed to do. But the fact that you couldn't close it out and you was up by 6, that's a devastating loss. And that type of loss, most teams don't come back from. You usually crumble at that point. So at this point, I gotta also say that too, Jared. They pretty much blowed a Shingun game when he finally showed up to play. You blowed it. No guarantee you're gonna get that back in game 4. So at this point, and that's 5 straight losses. That's 5 straight losses to the Lakers at this point. It's all mental, and I think at this point they're cooked. They're done. I should go over and pull out my broom out the closet. Let's go and take it out. Let's go and get the series over with. Get ready to play Oklahoma, because Oklahoma's going to take care of the Suns. And then let's get ready to watch a really good series. I say as a basketball fan, I think everybody in the world should be happy that Houston get knocked out, because this probably be a sweep for Oklahoma if they played them. So this is probably better if you get the Lakers to go against them and at least get an entertaining series, no matter how many games it may be. But for the Rockets, I don't know what to tell you at that point. There's no coming back. I feel like no matter who no matter who lost this game, it would probably been devastating for both sides. And for the Rockets, it's got to hit harder, because you had the game. And it's funny, Gerald? I just won money off of this too. I actually betted somebody beside me, like, they're going to turn the ball over. Watch this. And they did exactly what I said they're going to do. They're going to turn the ball over. Because they have no point guard to handle that pressure that was going to come. So, unfortunately, series over. It's ended on Sunday. I'm going to pull out my broom, go and sweep them out. Kevin Durant, get that burner account fired up, man, because you don't need it. It's over.
Once again, that's probably your greatest intro on the show. It is, of course, Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. It is me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching. Listening. The Lakers do win in overtime, 112 to 108. They are now up 3-0. Before we get into the stats and how unbelievable it is, because if you look at the stats, you're like it was said earlier, Jawa, How did the Lakers win when you look at the stats? We'll go ahead in a second, but I want to go ahead and touch on Marcus Smart. Makes a late three, gets some clutch free throws. 5 out of 6, I believe, is what he did in free throws in overtime and late. It just absolutely a clutch performance. Got steals, hard nosed defense. Was not the benefactor of a technical. I think that was more of a okay, some Amen Thompson kind of goaded it into that as far as a flop is concerned on that one because it didn't look like he just brushed him barely with his arm, even though it was just the mannerism of going like that. I think that just turned that got him the tech. But be that as it may, Marcus Smart has that veteran savvy that a lot of teams were looking for. Yes, he does things sometimes that frustrated Boston fans and delighted Boston fans all in the same measure. And I know he wasn't there to enjoy the championship that they won, but he is still a player that has meant a lot in playoff matchups, meant a lot in playoff minutes, has seized the moment before. Your thoughts on how Marcus Smart stepped it up in the second half and overtime when it looked like it was going to be another game that actually, well, the guys on the road, the role players on the road, weren't going to get it done, but Marcus Smart got it done late to get this victory for the Lakers.
He played a heck of a game. He stepped up, and you can see a lot of that experience was showing. He didn't crack under pressure. Shot that 3-point shot in the OT just like it was a shoot around shot. He has been huge in this series. He really has. Had a double double tonight. I think he had 5 steals, 2 blocks. Like he was putting up some really crazy stats. He had a heck of a game. You can tell right now Marcus Smart is playing for a nice size contract. After this season is over, you can definitely tell this man is gonna get a nice contract. He's done a lot for this team. He hit crucial shots when you need it, played the defense when you need it. He's been everywhere for this team, everywhere. And I think that's the part. If you was a Houston Rocket fan, it got to hurt you a little bit to see that you about to lose to a Lakers team that was missing 2 key players, and you lost to, I guess to some people say Bron and friends. I mean, that just show you how well them role players stepped up. And Marcus Smart was one of the lead role players that have really stepped up huge in this series. That's huge, man. I mean, it's amazing what he's really done. And it looked like he kind of rewind the clock a little bit too, the way he's out here knocking down jumpers. So it's amazing what he has really done in this series overall.
When you look at the stats are just okay. I'll start off with the rebounds. Of course, Houston won the rebounding battle. Also, the offensive rebound at 18-9. Lakers committed 20 turnovers. When you look at it on black and white, and you look at the paper there, outside of the fact that they outshot as far as the Rockets on the floor, as far as is concerned, 48% to 41%, and 41% from three to 28%. Every other statistic seemingly almost went the way of the Rockets. Where do you think this game was won at? Where do you think this game was won by the Lakers? Because again, the turnover battle was won by Houston. The rebounding battle was won by Houston. But the Lakers' fight and grit kept them in front most of the way, did let them fall behind, but helped them come back to get this victory.
I think where the Lakers won this game at was in that last between 24 to 45 seconds. Where they won this game. They won this game when you was able to force a turnover on a team that doesn't have a real point guard. That is where they won this game. And then you could say another piece of the game where they definitely know they won is when they went to OT and they managed to stay afloat, keep their mental state in check, kept knocking down jumpers while Houston was just struggling. I feel like Houston at that point was already deflated when they went into OT. I don't know if you saw it or not when they showed Şengün just threw his towel down. They look like a guy who know we messed around and we effed up. We just blew this game. They looked like they was already defeated in OT. They probably felt like they should have won this game in regular time period, and they didn't. And I think that's where the Lakers won. They won when they forced that turnover, led to another basket. That's where the Lakers won this game. I think this game was already over when they went to OT. They looked like they were already gave up.
LeBron James, another vintage performance, mostly outside the turnovers. Can we just not have him inbound balls, please. I just don't want them inbounding. But beautiful performance otherwise. 29-13. The 8 turnovers is going to be an eyesore right there, but
Yeah.
that should not take away the fact that this is a 41-year-old man stepping up to the plate when his team needs him the most and is providing whatever he can on both ends of the floor. Yes, I know that he's not the defender that he once was, but he is still trying to give every effort and energy. And this is a 41-year-old man playing 45 minutes, which was the most on the Lakers team, tied for most on the Lakers team.
He played well. Hit a lot of key shots, a lot of moments in this game where you can tell LeBron's presence was felt. That experience, it just showed in this game. Play good defense down that key moment too. When Şengün went down to the basket trying to get an easy layup. LeBron defense forced the drop ball, forced the jump ball situation. He stepped up big in this game tonight, and for being 41, he had moments where he looked like he won 41. Even though there were some moments, you can tell 41 was there, and he looked like he was gassed towards the end of the regulation. But he stepped up huge too. He's been balling, and hell, he even had Bronny James looking good out here in this game too. So
it didn't start out pretty for Bronny, but then he had that minute in time where he got the 3-pointer to build his confidence, and then father to son on the alley-oop legend.
Yeah, we end up seeing a little history. First father and son alley-oop to each other in a playoff game, so we end up seeing that. But I mean, LeBron got to feel good. He's probably telling the boys now that you need to finish the series on Sunday. Get you some rest and get ready for the David versus Goliath matchup.
JY, I know you mentioned on the last post game about when the Lakers would start the next series, even if they swept out, if they are fortunate enough to do so. Even if OKC and the Lakers swept out, I think May 2nd would be the first date that they would be targeting for a start to the next round, is what I was told during the course of the week. So that was from ESPN. So if that's the case, the earliest date would be May 2nd. So, I mean, legend, that could be a possibility for Luka. But for Austin, what do? You're up 3-0. He was a late scratch because he was out there. I don't know if you saw my Twitter. I tweeted out there that video that he was warming up an hour before the game and he was a late scratch like Kevin Durant was. I'm assuming Kevin Durant comes back for game 4. Do you counter with Austin Reaves if he says he's good enough?
I feel like you should, play him just on a minute restriction because you don't want to. You know who your next opponent is. You do not want to go versus OKC with a rusty Austin Reaves. I already expect Luka to be a little bit rusty in that starting off in that series because you don't have time to get ramp up. You don't have time for that. You just kind of have to play through it. I would at least try to do a couple minutes in game 4. Just go off a minute restriction, maybe 20 minutes, whatever. Whatever he can handle. Just to kind of help knock off the rest and get him ready for OKC. Because you're gonna need everything you got to be able to beat them. You're gonna have to play near perfect to have any chance. So you need him to not have no rust going into that series. So I would say play him just on a minute restriction, just to get him back into the flow somewhat. Because at least you get one game before that series. You might still have some rust going into the OKC series, but at least you got a game to start getting back into the flow. Because you got to get something. That I'm telling you, you do not want to go in that OKC series rusty.
Robert Wheeler says, oh, by the way, I also want to go ahead and give a shout out to Rui, who got the Lakers off to a really good start as well, getting 16 points in that first quarter. I've ended up with 22, but really got the Lakers off to a good start. Robert Wheeler says, Gerald, legend, if you had to rank who's been most impressive in the series between Luke Kennard, Marcus Smart, and Rui Hachimura, who would it be? I know Luke did not have the, it was okay, but nothing great as far as his shooting was off today. I'd probably say of them, you're going to have to say Marcus Smart, 21 points, 10 assists, and 5 steals. You're going to have to say Marcus Smart has been the steadying force outside of LeBron this series.
Yeah, I think Smart has been definitely, to me, the most impressive in this series. A lot of people, let's keep it real. A lot of people wrote this team off because of it was LeBron and friends, but those friends stepped up, and Marcus Smart is like one of the leaders of those friends who showed up every single game at this point. I don't think he had a bad game in the series so far. I would definitely say I think he's been the best amongst the whole group. Then I would say Luke with game 1 and 2, and then Rui been pretty straight too overall. But to me, Marcus Smart has been probably the best amongst the whole role player group. He's really been incredible. He's played better than what I expected in this series, honestly. So gotta give him credit.
Once again, it is the Lakers getting the victory in overtime, 112 to 108. It is Legend from I Got Next Sports Media, along with me, Joe Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Joe is at the Dodgers game, watching the Dodgers, who are up 3-0 right now. So hopefully Joe will have fun at Chavez Ravine. He is in the chat. If you want to go ahead and chat at him. It is, of course, also as well, John Costa out for as well. He'll hopefully be back, he said, for game 4. But yes, he did fall or was fouled, and Marcus Smart did hit his face or chin on the floor. I know he was bleeding from the mouth, but they're going to have to go ahead and see if he needs a tooth replaced or some type of dental work. But again, we're here. We're at this point 3-0 because Marcus Smart and LeBron James have helped this team in the place of when you don't have Luka and Austin. And it's a great sign that you can go ahead and do that. But also with Houston, let's talk about Houston real quick. Houston has some real offensive problems.
Yeah.
When you're supposed to go home, you're supposed to get a boost. Your role players are supposed to get a boost by being at home. Your team is supposed to shoot better when you're at your home. And the Lakers still outshot them 48 to 41% from the field and 41 to 28% from three. They still cannot find offense, this team. Whoever's shooting it from the outside is not shooting it well. Whoever's handling the ball is not handling it well. If Alperen Şengün did not go off today, I'm not sure if we would have even had a doubt about as far as who won. If it wasn't for Alperen Şengün keeping them in the game and actually getting them the lead, we would be talking about an easy victory for the Lakers, my friend.
I definitely agree. If Şengün don't play like a star like he did tonight, it's probably a blowout. Probably would have lost by 20 something. Houston, what they need to do this offseason, get you a point guard, which you already got one, but still get another point guard so you don't be in this situation again. Get some guys who can score, who can shoot. You got more guys who can build me a brick house in my yard right now, more so than making a basket. You need to get some shooters. That's the biggest thing they need to do this offseason. Get some guys who can put the ball in the basket. That's what they're missing. If they would have had a point guard, like I said, you probably win this game tonight. You probably 2-1 right now. Unfortunately, you're not. You're down 3-0 because you don't have a point guard. That's what Houston needs to do this offseason. And if I'm them, you might want to evaluate how Ime Udoka did in this series too. Because JJ really did coach circles around this guy the whole series. And that it showed a lot. I give him credit. You did something better this game, but you got to count what you did in game 1 and game 2. So Houston got a lot of issues they need to really fix this offseason. And you just can't rely on Kevin Durant to do everything. He's 37. Shouldn't have to. Same thing I always say about LeBron James. He's 41. Shouldn't have to do all that. They need to fix some stuff. They need to do a lot of fixing this summer.
What's interesting, though, you take a look at the benches, and we've talked about this as the Lakers and Houston have two of the worst bench reserve units in the league. And actually, the Lakers are actually one up on the Houston Rockets during the course of the season. And so far in the playoffs, you've got minimal output from both benches. But today, the Lakers bench, which, again, has hurt it from me as far as the lack of production, they at least gave you something. They gave you something. 24 points off the bench today. Jackson Hayes, a really solid performance. And the fact that he wasn't in there late when he was in there late in previous games, and Deandre Ayton was a vote of confidence for Ayton. But still, Hayes gave them some great minutes as well. 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 block shots. And Bronny James. 9 minutes. Again, it started out like it was going to start out the previous 2 games, but it ended up with that 1 minute in time where you saw him having enough confidence to pop out and get a smooth 3. And then right afterwards, almost the next possession, they get the turnover and LeBron hits Bronny for the alley oop. That hopefully will be a confidence boosting thing for Bronny, because Joe and I, I was off mic, he was on mic on our Discord, and he was just like, "What the hell is he doing out here?" And it's the same old thing. But we got a different result this time around. Bronny outscored the Houston bench. Bronny James in 9 minutes outscored. Well, actually, essentially 1 minute, Legend, because it was actually just 2 possessions. In 1 minute, he outscored the entire Houston Rockets bench 5-3.
Yikes, 5-3 the whole
1 minute. 1 minute he scored 5 points. And that was more than the entire bench on Houston.
I mean, I guess it was a battle of the two terrible benches, and Laker bench outdid them. That's crazy. Bronny James outscored the whole Houston bench. That's bad, boy. That is bad. Like, I don't know. I'll be embarrassed at that point. That, you look, a dude who is improving, but he ain't that great. Outscore your bench. That's pretty bad. Like,
damn. 1 minute of Bronny James success. The entire reserve unit for Houston. That blows me away. I just cannot. It's hilarious when you think about it.
If I was the general manager of the Houston Rockets, I would really be like, "Yeah, we got to fix this roster. We got to fix this, because that's embarrassing, man. You can't let, of all people, Bronny James outscore your bench, man. Like, I know both side benches are not that good, but dang, bro, one person outscored your whole bench. That's terrible."
Once again, the Lakers win 112-108 in overtime. The Lakers lead the series 3-0. So with that, again, the NBA playoffs have never had a winner or of a series that has come back from a 3-0 deficit. It's only happened, I believe, in hockey, and baseball. I believe it's also happened in baseball. But be that as it may, my friend, the Lakers still got to finish the job in Game 4. Do you bring back Austin for Game 4? He was a late scratch for Game 3. I know, like I said before, KD, I could pretty much tell you that he's going to be coming back, bad ankle or not. Is he going to be able to play Game 4? And what would you do with him? Would you have him coming off the bench? Would you have him starting? He's going to probably be on some type of minutes restriction because he hasn't played in weeks. But what would you do with Austin Reaves if he comes back in Game 4?
I will let him come off the bench, do the minute restriction off the bench, but it's a sticky situation. You could let him rest, but at the same time, do you really want to play OKC with like 2 of your best players? One of them gonna be rested. Ain't nothing you can do about that. But do you want him to be rested going against OKC? That's the other part you got to really think about.
Do you want to get some reps in for him, though? Do you want to get some minutes in for him?
You want to get some type of reps, because you're going against the team that is favored to win it all again right now. It's not going to be easy. This net series is going to be to me a living hell of a series.
And Jalen Williams is listed as week to week with a possibility of that he might be coming back at the start of the series in early May.
That's what I figured too. I figured he'd be back by the second round. It's tricky. You want to get some reps, but I understand too if you want to let him rest a little bit longer. I don't know. I would really come off the bench with a minute restriction just to get some reps, because it's just, this is the same team that have beat the brakes off you every single time. You kind of need everything you got right now just to keep afloat. So it's a tricky situation. I would bring him off the bench with me, just a minute restriction, but I can understand too if you want to let him rest. I can understand that, but you just gotta think about the risk that you're doing too. Lou Dort gonna be waiting for you. The guy who loved to play football and basketball together. So you gotta watch that part.
That's true indeed. But once again, the Lakers get the victory with a clutch victory in overtime, 112 to 108. Once again, I've got Legend with me from I Got Next Sports Media. Please go ahead and make sure you like and subscribe wherever he's at I Got Next Sports Media, whether he's covering the NBA, WNBA, NFL, and more. Go ahead and check him out today at I Got Next Sports Media. Gerald Glassford, thanks again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate it. With the win, though, the Lakers, again, they're now dictating when they can finish off this series. Yes, they can try and just give a half-hearted effort and just say we're going to take it back to LA, but I want them to go ahead and put it right there on the jugular, my friend. It is now time for LeBron to just say, you know what? I want that week off. I want another week off so I can feel good, so I can feel right, so I can get rested. So at least we can go into a battle against OKC as rested as possible. So no excuses are made as far as that's concerned, with the possibility of Austin and even maybe a Luka sighting coming up around the corner. So with that, my friend, what do you do to try to keep the foot on the gas if you're LA for game 4?
If I'm LA, just going to end the series Sunday. I would say going to end it, get it over with. Get ready for probably your hardest battle in the whole entire playoff. You need to get as much rest as you can. You need to, you know, I would say more for LeBron. He need the rest. The others, yeah, you young, you should be all right. But like
Marcus
Isaiah,
Smart too. Marcus Smart has
yeah,
been banged up. If you take a
been
look
banged
at
up
him,
too. That is true. Marcus Smart been banged up,
he was
and but
limping in the first half.
I agree with Isaiah. Isaac just said in chat. Too much rest is no good. It can be bad too with too much rest. But it's a tough thing. But for me, your third best player, quote unquote, could be your second best. He needs that rest. He's 41. It'll benefit
Lakers
him a
had a
lot.
week off. I know, and I understand Isaac saying that, Legend, but the Lakers had a week off and they're up 3-0.
It helps, And like I said, you don't need everything you got going into the next series. That next series to me can be determined by the first two games. So you need to get all you can get. And if I'm JJ, you might want to be in the lab looking at all them games that you played against OKC to look at what you did wrong. Even though I can tell you off the bat what you did wrong in a lot of the games. But
Again, with the Thunder, because you're going to be playing at OKC. If that's the case, again, we can't say for sure, but it's certainly kind of looking like it with a 3-0 lead.
I'm
With
confident
the
enough. I
Lake,
bet my wallet. It'll be there.
oh, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh,
With my wallet.
no, no, no.
We'll put it out there.
Oh, no, no,
It'll be there.
no, no, no. Oh, gosh. All right. Well, if you want, if you insist, that's up to you. Again, please bet responsibly. But when it comes right down to it, the Lakers again with the victory, 3-0, and then again, house money, house money. They found house money with the victory tonight, and all they need to do is just finish it off on Sunday. If they do that, Legend, they can go ahead and, like you said, get the days off that they needed, and probably with the 41-year-olds. Yes, and I understand, Isaac. The fact is, you could go cold in OKC, but I would take that chance. I would go ahead and see if I could put Austin Reaves coming off the bench, get him in there for 20 minutes, get something even more off your bench, try to exploit that, because right now Houston is back on its heels. It's time to finish them off.
Yeah, you got to go and finish them off. To me, Houston gave you their absolute best shot tonight. If there was a game that they should have won, it was tonight. They gave their best shot. I really feel like they gave all their punches tonight. Şengün been playing like cheeks the whole series, and he showed up in this game, and you still lost. You gotta take advantage of this situation. At this point, them boys are probably deflated, hurt. It's mental to them at this point. You done lost to this same team 5 straight times. That's a lot of losses to the same team. That is mental. It's gonna eventually creep in the back of your mind, wondering, can I really beat this thing? You gotta take advantage. Put these boys out of their misery because they look like they was sad and just ready to go home tonight in OT. You got to end this series, man. You need to get that broom out the closet, dust it off, and go and sweep them on out of here. One of y'all in the chat, get the dustpan and sweep the little Houston Rockets on and then put them in the trash can. End the series. You need to end it tonight. You need to end it on Sunday. End it.
El Rosa's asking, "Hey, Legend, can you define playing like cheeks?"
Ah, the way I used to tell my players when you're playing like cheeks is when you're playing enough to where you just absolutely ain't doing nothing. You just playing like complete trash. You playing so bad to where I really believe that you just straight garbage. That's how the young kids say playing like cheats nowadays. You just trash. That's a fancy way of saying trash.
Well, Joe says in the chat, playing like ass indeed. But Legend, before we hit up the rest of the games on the slate, as far as what's going on, including a Wemby out for Game 3, and they're obviously feeling it right now in for San Antonio against Portland in Portland right now. That are down, they're up 4 on San Antonio as we speak. And we'll talk about the other games here in a second. One last thing on Marcus Smart. This was a player who was discarded by Boston. Let's just say that he was discarded by Boston. Had a rough time in Memphis and Washington, much injured, didn't was looking like he was on the backside of his career in the 30s and not sure what he had left. He came into training camp saying he wasn't sure how much he had left, but he has shown the fact, even me, that he could stay on the floor for the most part. He did have an injury late in the season, but he is doing so much for this team, a team that desperately needs what he can give to this team because they just don't have many players with this archetype that can play solid defense, that can hit a shot on occasion, but can get you those moments in time and those 50-50 balls that a lot of the guys in the Lakers just cannot give. And only he seems to be able to do that right now.
I think Smart got something left. I know he was questioning in the coming into training camp if he had anything left. Nah, you got a lot left, man. You got a lot left. You can still contribute to a good championship team. He showed it in this playoff and in the regular season. He got something left. Is he injury prone? Yeah, that is definitely true. You've seen it for yourselves. He's injury prone, but he still got something left. Some people may probably question why they Boston got rid of him. Look, during that time period, they did the right thing. You couldn't make a shot against my Warriors. We left you wide open. Keep jacking up them threes, bro. You was bricking, but you fixed that at this point in time. They always say,
I don't want to say he's fixed that. If you looked at his season, yes.
I might be
mean, comes and goes. It comes and goes. And the thing is, when it goes, somebody forgets to just tap him on the shoulder to say, hey, go for the twos. Go for the twos. Yeah, nobody. Yeah, he will sometimes fall in love with his shot a little too much. But then that's like a lot of players in the league, my friend.
Yeah, there's a lot of players. But I'll at least give him credit. It's at least a little bit better than way back. But like you said, it's kind of on and off, on and off. He's not someone that I would really worry about from 3-point range, but when he's knocking it down, that makes him more lethal at that point when he's starting to knock it down. So you just got to give him credit. He still got something left. He ain't washed up. He got something left. And truth be told, Boston probably don't win that championship in 24 if they don't move you. So, yeah. But during that time period, it was the right decision that they did. When they lost to my Warriors, it was the right decision. But he got something left. Him, Luke. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, Luke to me is shown too. He got a lot in the tank. Even though he been passed around the league like a new girl on the streets, but he got a lot left. Yeah.
That's 2 for 2, my friend. Oh my gosh. El Rosto says on the super chat, thank you so much for the super chat. Rockets playing like cheeks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But with Luke Kennard, I'll just say this again. It's great to see him take advantage of the situation that's been given to him. I know that Houston doesn't have anyone directly that can take him on the defensive end, because that's what you always worry about with Luke Kennard is who does he have to defend and who is going to take him off the dribble or put him on an island. The Houston Rockets just do not have, unless it's Alperen Sengun, they just don't have someone that scares you on a one-on-one. And if that's the case, the Lakers are able to usually switch back and get a big on Alperen Sengun. Alperen Sengun did do his due diligence today with a great performance, but again, with the Lakers, it seems more like they're getting a better team effort, an all-around team effort by everyone who's in there, and that's a good thing to see.
Yeah, that's a good thing to see. One thing I would definitely say that the Lakers can really take out this series is your role players gonna have more confidence going into the OKC series because they don't really showed out in this series. Like I say, seeing Smart, Luke, all these guys, Jackson Hayes, all these guys really stepped up big in this series. And they gotta give themselves a pat on the back. Everybody in the world, went against them, and they define odds. Like, shout out to the person who betted on the Lakers right now to win the series. You making a heck of a lot of money right now, and gotta feel good. That pocket's gotta feel good right now. They have done a tremendous job. But to me, the person that a lot of people gotta give credit to, gotta give credit to JJ Redick. He has done a tremendous good job in this series. This is a big turnaround to what he did last year in the first round. Major improvement. Major improvement. So it's almost credit go all around the whole team for what they have done so far.
And this is with the Lakers getting absolutely killed on the offensive board. They made this a point of emphasis, Legend, in the practices and the words leading up to this series. And they were still getting killed on the offensive boards. And today they got killed there again, 18-9. They committed more turnovers, 5 more turnovers than the Houston Rockets. But the Houston Rockets just don't have the offensive firepower without KD in there, without Fred VanVleet to set up for him, and without anything to really set it up. They just don't have the way to really convert their turnovers once they get them from the Lakers. It's just, and then also the rebounds. You see where the Lakers all throughout the series they've given up offensive rebounds right and left, and it just comes to the point where they just still can't take advantage of them. Most teams, you get that offensive rebound, you're putting it right back up, or you're getting it out for a three, and it's converting. The Houston Rockets are getting the offensive rebounds and are just not converting when they get turnovers or offensive rebounds.
And that is because they just got guys who just can't shoot the ball. That's one of their biggest issues. Their 3-point shooting is atrocious. I think they're shooting like 29% in this series or something like that. Like, they got nobody they can really trust. I mean, Shepard has been bricking most of the time. And y'all old buddy who used to be with you guys, who with the Houston Rockets, I don't know what happened to his jump shot. His jump shot is gone. So I mean, it's rough for them. They just can't score the ball. That's their biggest issue. They can rebound the ball like crazy, but the fact that they can't score, that's what's killing them right now. And it's just unfortunate. You can get all the rebounds you want, but if you can't score, it does you no good. It just does you absolutely no good. You don't have nobody who can get you a bucket, who can knock down the jumper when you need it. I mean, they had a lot of open opportunities that they just bricked. Like, there was times, Gerald, I'm not gonna lie, the Lakers is shoot the ball, knock yourself out, shoot it, because they're gonna brick it. So that's one of the biggest thing they need to correct in the offseason for them. You need to get you some shooting, some guys who can put the ball in the hoop. I mean, I'm not saying you got to give up all your great rebounders. Just get somebody else who can score in there. That's what they really need, and it is hurting them this series.
Want to ask your thoughts finally on this before we get to the games, other games on the slate. JJ Redick, had a good performance out of again Jackson Hayes coming off the bench, 2 block shots, and provided some defense today. But the thing is, when it came down to in the clutch minutes and in overtime, it wasn't Jackson Hayes that played like the last 2 games. The last 2 games in the clutch time, it was Jackson Hayes playing in clutch time. Today was Deandre Ayton. And you look at Deandre Ayton's number, 2 points and 6 rebounds. We're going to say, oh, it's a downward experience for him. But I mean, Alperen Sengun, yes, he did get 33, but when he in overtime tried to manufacture some points, especially with or in late in the game as well, as far as before even the overtime, he tried to go ahead and manufacture points, tried to go ahead and try to get a hook, but DeAndre Ayton was there for just the sheer tall defensive presence to get. And despite what you want to say that he wasn't lethargic, he just wasn't utilized, or he didn't. demand the ball, whatever you want to say. He just wasn't much of a presence for most of the game. But late in the game, the defense on Alperen Sengun and in overtime, it really mattered. It really goes a long way as far as Deandre Ayton to give him some confidence that, yes, even though he didn't offensively do a whole lot, he was there. JJ gave him the confidence late in the game to put the ball in his hands as far as it's concerned, to be there for the tips at the tip ins, as far as the tip offs, the jump balls, but also as well to play defense on Alperen Sengun late. And I think that hopefully that will translate to more success down the road.
Yeah, you gotta give Aiden credit. He did good on the jump ball. Yeah, he was getting torched by Shigun tonight, but even before tonight, he's done a pretty good job on Shigun
Both
most of the
centers
series.
were torched by Sengun. He was having his way with both of them for a little bit in that second half, especially.
Yeah, they got torched, but what I will definitely say is he did really good on game one and game two. So I give him that much credit wise, even though tonight it wasn't good, but
Until late when he did put some really good defensive pressure on Alpern.
he did a really really good job, and I think he actually might have been the one that stopped
The one
kind
was
of
where you
game
talk
winning
about
hook.
the towel throwing. Remember
Yep,
the reason why? Because he threw that hook shot air ball from the side, from the corner, and he missed that cleanly. And because that was the pressure put on by Deandre Ayton.
and that was like at least his big moment tonight. Yeah, he got torched, but he showed up at the moment you really need him to, and that's the most important part. And we'll see what he do when we get into the Oklahoma series when you're going against Chet and all them, Jalen Williams and all them, seeing how you do against them.
We will wait and see. But once again, the Lakers do get the victory, 112 to 108. The other game on the schedule that is already completed for today was Boston and Philadelphia. And as you and I both know, the way that their three pointers goes is the
Yes,
way
yeah.
that Boston will go. And today they
Yep.
shot over 40% from three, made 23s. It's really hard to keep up with them if that's the case, my friend. And they win 108 to 100 in Philly.
Yeah, they making that many threes. You're probably gonna lose that game. That's probably an automatic loss. Their way the games go for them is you live by the three, you die by the three. That's pretty much how it works for Boston, and they got the win today. And they're my pick right now to get to the finals. I think they should. Well, they should, unless my Hawks want to do me a favor and knock them out. But love to see that happen. But I ain't gonna get my hopes up. But when they make the three, they'll probably win. When they brick the three, that's when they're vulnerable. They're very vulnerable when their 3-point shooters just don't got it. But they've been like that the last couple of years, and it have won them a championship. So it does work, but it have in moments it can bite you.
Close to the end of the first half, Portland is up by 9 on San
Mm.
Antonio. So the Wemby factor and the Wemby absence of Wembyama is obviously a factor for San Antonio. Again, pretty surprising. The fact that just Wembyama alone is going to be the difference in this series if it's going to go much longer than expected for San Antonio. But again, we'll wait and see on that one. But your Atlanta Hawks, my friend, 2 straight 1-point victories. They're up 2-1 in the series. They're getting it done in clutch time. CJ McCollum, who is no longer going to be a guy that you're going to get off the street for a minimum somewhere else this summer. Sorry, Lakers fans, because that's what I was really hoping for a backup for the Lakers. Too bad for that. He is earning his money at 35 years old. Jalen Johnson showed up yesterday with a 24, I think it was 24, 10, and 8, if I remember
Mm-hmm.
correctly. Atlanta has a lot of confidence. This is a young team outside of McCollum, a young team that's building its confidence. And New York, which saw Mikal Bridges give you 21 minutes of nothing, has a lot to think about heading into this weekend's game.
And you gave all them draft picks for that. You gave up 5 first-round picks. I'll be disgusted right now. I'll be disgusted. Like, I just know you ain't out here giving me nothing. And I just gave you my entire future at this point. Yeah, going and call Milwaukee, be like, all right, let's do it. We done. Give me Giannis. Let's go. Take him, take whatever you want. Take my wife. You want her to give me Giannis at this point. Yeah, I would make the move because that ain't it. That's disgusting. I mean, I'm not complaining because we won. I'll take that. But as if you're a New York Knicks fan, I'll be disgusted. That's pretty rough. And then Jalen Brunson turned the ball over the last couple minutes too. So that's pretty bad. Not gonna lie, Mike Brown, if you lose this series, bro, you ain't gonna hit the end of this. You're not gonna hit the end.
No, they're gonna be screaming Tibbs in his face
Yup.
all summer long. I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, heading on to as far as the rest of the playoffs are concerned, you've got OKC and Phoenix coming up this weekend for their game three. I don't see Phoenix putting up much of a fight. They're already complaining. They're already talking about the refs. SGA has gotten still 26 free throws in the first two games,
I
which
want to
speaks
talk
for
about that
itself.
right there.
Yeah. So go ahead, my friend. I mean, I said before, and I said it to I know that Caleb's brother is in the chat. I said it to Caleb as well. I just want an even playing field. If you're not going to call it, don't call it for any of them. That means the SGAs. That means the Jamal Murrays. That means the Luka Doncic. That means the Austin Reaves. Don't call it for any of them. But if you're going to keep on doing this and giving guys 10, 15 free throws, those are the types of games. I mean, it just is a demoralizing thing. You're supposed to play playoff level defense, and it's really hard to if you even get the slightest touch on them, if you're going to call for foul.
That's my thing about going against the Oklahoma City Thunders. To me, that's what makes them so hard to beat. They're already, damn good, an excellent team. Play excellent defense, offense be on point. Forced turnovers, what kills a lot of teams. What makes them really hard to beat, though, them free throws. It's like if you're getting like 15 plus free throws, you're gonna lose the game. Like, how can you beat that? I can't play defense on you. Like, it's I know the ref is gonna call if I just breathe on you. So like, how do I play defense at that point? That's the thing I would say too. Even when the Lakers play against them, you got a lot of things going to be going against you. I guarantee you, he's going to be getting to the line. He's going to be getting to that line, and that's going to be another hurdle that Lakers are going to have to try to overcome if they can. Like, you're going to have to battle against the referees too, because them referees are going to blow the whistle for him, and I guarantee you, Austin Reaves ain't going to get that call. He's not going to get it.
Pistons and Magic, that is going to go to game 3 tomorrow. I want to hear your thoughts on that. Magic, back to the old Magic. After it was one game against the Pistons on the road at Detroit in game 1, which they really looked like the team that a lot of people were really high on. I was high on for a run here this season. Then we reverted back to the Orlando that we all know and Orlando fans hate, as far as being able to not score anything and looking like they're in mud the entire. They made Houston's offense look like the highest scoring offense in the league, as by comparison, by what they did in game 2. Your thoughts, my friend, on Orlando, and if that now with some home cooking, their offense will get better and maybe steal a win or two away from the number 1 seeded Detroit Pistons?
I think that's going to be a long series. I really do think that's going to be a very long series. I get the feeling that that's a possible 7-game series between Orlando and Detroit, but this is definitely where we're going to see what Detroit really made of, facing adversity for the first time in a minute, and see if their offense catches up on them, being so reliant on Cade to lead the way. Well, Orlando looked like the team that we thought they could be in that game 1. Where that been the whole season, I don't know. But maybe Mosley trying to save his job at the same time too. But you probably know season in, you can get that phone call. You might be heading to the unemployment office. So maybe that's why he's trying to step it up, trying to try to win this series to maybe save face a little bit. But I think that's a 7-game. I think it's gonna be a long series. I think Cleveland will be done soon.
Another long series, my friend, are the Nuggets and Timberwolves. I'm excited to hear your thoughts on this one, because the fact that it's been nasty, and I like that. Jaden McDaniels he called every single Nugget player out for poor defense. And he named them by name after game 2. But you know what? You know what?
He wasn't wrong.
He wasn't wrong. And he backed it up with Gordon out because of a calf issue. They feasted on Denver, and Denver looked absolutely miserable especially in that first quarter, my friend, against Minnesota. Uh, Minnesota looks more like the number 3 seed, just like they did last season against the Lakers. They look more like the higher seed than Denver does right now.
I'm gonna definitely say they do look like it. It kind of gave me that last year vibes all over again watching them play. And Jokic, man, he played horrible. That was hard to watch. Him, Jamal Murray, all of them just struggling. And the fact what makes it so bad is McDaniel, he called all you guys out, and you still went out there and prove this man right. He did exactly what he said about you. When somebody call you out like that, you got to show up. You got to at least show up at least this one game to try to prove them wrong. But now Denver's in a situation where now you're down 2-1. Still a long series. It's not over. But you gotta be a little concerned that knowing Aaron Gordon is hurt. He's hurt again. That's a hurt on them. But they got depth, so they can make
He
up for that.
practiced, I think, earlier today, so
Okay.
he's questionable for Game 4. So we'll see, my friend. But it's kind of iffy, touch and go. But Aaron Gordon hasn't been right all season, obviously stemming from the last season's playoffs when he limped and just had that hamstring, could just finally gave out. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, Denver does not look like they're in any great shape at all.
They look like they're on the verge of heading home in the first round, which if that were to happen, that's a disaster. That's a disaster for them. And that kind of just looks bad knowing that just a couple years ago you just won the championship and it's been kind of rough since then. But to go out in the first round to the same team that don't gave you problems over the years that's pretty rough, man. That's rough. And the one thing, Gerald, that I thought about watching that series, if I'm Denver, you gotta be disgusted that you didn't get the Rockets instead of the T Wolves right now. You just gotta be disgusted that happened. Oh man.
They were trying. They were trying to do stuff at that last game. They tried hard to go ahead and manipulate it with what they did out there in that last game, but didn't work for them. And right now they're facing a 2-1 deficit. But we'll see with Saturday's game against those two. But the last series to touch on, if you can, my friend, because the Spurs and Blazers, they're going into halftime right now as we speak at 65-59 Blazers. Right now, the Raptors and Cavaliers, the Raptors showed some life, my friend. And I was going to go ahead and give Joe some ammunition because Jamison Battle, you're like, who? He was an undrafted player in the Bronny draft that came off the bench yesterday and went 4 for 4 from 3, 5 for 5 of 5 overall out of nowhere. But with Bronny's saving performance for himself in that period of time with the 5 points, I'm going to lay off with Bronny a little bit for now. But with that though, Toronto, can they steal another game in the Great White North and hold off Cleveland and make this at least a series?
I think they're cooked. I think this series finna go in the end. I think Cleveland finna go in and get them out of there, get them some rest, and wait on that long Detroit and Orlando series. But right now, if things play out the way I'm thinking, Cleveland could be heading to the conference finals. Their path is a lot easier versus on the other side of that bracket. I think they're gonna go in and sweep Toronto. Toronto might get lucky and win game 4 and just force a game 5, but I think Cleveland's gonna go in and end it. I did think they're the better team. I think they just there's too much difference in their skill talent wise. They should go in and end this. Just get it over.
Once again, it is Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. It is me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this thing. I did get confirmation. Laker Tom wants to go on tomorrow. So Saturday, 11 a.m., he wants to go ahead and talk. Last time he was here, he F-bombed Jamie Sweet literally off as he was storming out. But I will try to not get him as mad on Saturday because I'm hosting for tomorrow. I believe it's me and him. I don't know if Michael can join up. I know that Jamie is out of town and El Rob is out of town as well. So the Lakerholics will still be represented by Laker Tom at the very least on Saturday. But Legend, you've got a great channel on I Got Next Sports Media. Your final thoughts on the Lakers' victory and what's going on with I Got Next Sports Media before we head on out.
My final thoughts for the Lakers is good win. You came out, you fought through a muddy battle tonight, got the win. Go on Sunday in Houston, finish this game off, finish the series, get you some rest, and get ready for your hardest challenge of the season. You gonna have to overcome. I don't know if it bothering them yet, but you gotta overcome some demons against Oklahoma City. I know we don't count regular season playoff, two different things, but that is something though that they don't beating you like that bad in all them games. That is something. So you're gonna have to really take some time to look at what went wrong in the regular season games and see if you can try to correct it. But enjoy the win. Send the Houston Rockets home on Sunday because I get the feeling they already probably defeated right now. If I'm Şengün, I'm probably mad at everybody in the locker room right now. You just blew my 30-some point game. But in the series. And for my channel, I am probably going to talk a little bit about the NFL draft that's going on currently right now on TV. And then I'll probably talk about more of the NBA playoffs, talk about my Atlanta Dream, our national televised game that we got this year, and talk about a couple of the WNBA games. Preseason starts tomorrow or today from my side of time. On my side of time, so get a little bit to talk about in sports world.
The Lakers once again they were down 6 points by
Facts,
the
Jay.
6 games, and came back to tie it, get in overtime, and get the win. Great win on the road, 112-108. Gritty. This whole series has been gritty by the Lakers, and it's gotten them a 3-0 lead. They're the only team right now with a 3-0 series lead, and I'm glad to see his Lakers defying all expectations. Nobody had the Lakers right now on the verge of a sweep as far as over the Rockets, and I'm glad to see that's the case, and hopefully they can finish the job on Sunday indeed. But Legend, it's been great to have you here. Everyone, I truly appreciate you stopping by. So thanks so much again for being a part of what we do right here. I will be on tomorrow with Laker Tom, maybe Michael Heinrich, but the Lakerholics will be represented tomorrow for Lakers weekend. Legend, I'm going to hopefully get you back on for Sunday's post game. Cannot thank you enough for stopping by for your insight and your NBA observations as well, my friend.
Anytime. Happy to be here. It's a good way to get my mind off stuff.
Once again, it is the Lakers with the victory. We'll be back tomorrow for a Lakerholic Spotlight, and then on Sunday for the post game for Game 4. Will it be a sweep? Can we get out the brooms for Game 4? We will see if they can. But again, so glad to have you guys here. Stefan Piscano with a final super chat. Truly appreciate it. I think you're going to see it. There it is. YouTube hug for you, Gerald, for me and Rob. Go Lakers. Yes. Well, I will slap Rob, tell him he's fired after the season because it's all downhill from there. But I'll give you a big hug, guy. I'll give you a big hug, my guy. Absolutely. Stefan Piscano podcast. Go ahead and hear how on his best producing video ever with me in it. It's from NBA Observations. It's about Rob Pelinka. Yes. And you can decide. Topic. Yes, you can decide whether or not you love or hate Rob Pelinka, and I'll leave it at that. But thank you so much for the super chat, Stefan. Truly appreciate it. Please, while you're there, whether you love or hate Rob, subscribe and like Stefan Piscano podcast on YouTube. And
we give him credit for the Luke Kennard trade. He did good on that part.
Yes. Oh yeah. Let's get you with him. Ups and downs. It's ups and downs. It's his whole career with the Lakers. Ups and downs. Guess what? He's on an up right now. When you get out, the old adage, you get out while the getting's good. Send him on his way. Go, Rob. Go. So right now, the Lakers are hopefully going to send the Rockets on their way with a sweep on Sunday. We'll talk more about that on Saturday with Laker Tom and be back with Legend. Hopefully, John Costa. Hopefully, Joe as well. Right here on Sunday night post game. Right here. Can the Lakers get the sweep? We'll go ahead and talk about it this weekend right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Thank you, everyone. Oh, I gotta do the Joe. I'm sorry, Legend. Uh.
Yeah, can't end the show without doing that.
Yeah, I guess so. You're right. Cheeks.